We are now live on YouTube and Facebook. Chairman, you have the floor.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the meeting of the Administrative Operation Committee of the Public Building Commission of Chicago being held today, November 8th, 2023 at 1 p.m. Director Sanchez, please call the roll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman Maldonado.
Here.
Commissioner Randall.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Director Sanchez. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the meeting held October 6th, 2023.
Move to approve.
Motion approved. Next item on the agenda is public participation in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. Registered speakers will be allowed 2 minutes to provide comments.
Mr. Chairman, we have no registered speakers today.
Okay, thank you. Next, report by Director of Procurement, James Portman.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
I hope everyone had an enjoyable Halloween and Dia de los Muertos also today. Pick a holiday, but we're back to regular weather, so I hope everyone enjoyed the brief winter interlude. I have 4 reports for you today, a little bit lengthy, and please feel free to follow along. The first report is fairly straightforward. There's been 1 task order issued since our last AO committee meeting. That is for environmental renovation demolition services at the 7th District Police Station. That was performed by Specialty Consulting, Inc., which is an NBP firm, for $21,064.80. Any questions on that one? No. The next report I have is the recommendation of pre-qualified specialty consulting services. So by background, in May of this year, we issued a request for qualifications for specialty consulting services for the following categories: environmental engineering, environmental renovation demolition, geotechnical services, surveyor services, traffic study services, and construction material testing and inspection, or ITL services. After a thorough review of the submissions, including evaluating the technical competence, the key staff and personnel that were going to be provided by these firms, their M&W participation, as well as past experience and other factors, the evaluation committee wishes to recommend the appointment of 50 specialty consultants. And I have my senior procurement officer with me today because there is a lot of information that went into this, and there are a few statistics that I really want to share with you that made me very proud to work at the PBC under Karina's leadership and also my team. So if I leave something out, Miguel, chime in. So previously we had 41 active specialty consultants. Those are broken out over those 6 areas. We've upped that number to 50. Of those 50, we are very happy to say 52% are minority women or minority women-owned businesses. We have exceeded 50% of our contracts, provided you approve of the recommendations. So we're very excited about that. We had a total of 56 submissions. Of those, 50 were deemed qualified, as I said. And I'm going to read through, and I apologize in advance, but I do need for the record to read in the names of the firms that we're recommending. These are all under tab C2 of your book. The first is for environmental engineering services. A3 Environmental LLC, a women business enterprise. AECOM Technical Services, Inc. Carnell Conabear and Associates Limited, an MBE and WBE firm. ECS Midwest LLC. Environmental Design International, Inc., an MBE and WBE firm. GSG Consultants, Inc., an MBE firm. Specialty Consulting, Inc., an MBE firm. Terracon Consultants, Inc., D3 Companies Limited, Weaver Consultants Group North Central LLC, and WSP USA Environment and Infrastructure. So those are the 11 firms for the environmental engineers. We also have 10 firms for the environmental reno demos. Those are Accurate SPC, a joint venture, an MBE firm. Arcadis US Inc., ATC Group Services LLC, which does business as Atlas Technical. Carnell Conabear and Associates Limited, an MBE and WBE firm. Environmental Design International Inc., an MBE WBE firm. GSG Consultants, Inc., an NBE firm, Specialty Consulting, Inc., an NBE firm, Hem Environmental, Inc., Terracon Consultants, Inc., and WSP USA Environment and Infrastructure, Inc. Again, those are the 10 for environmental renovation demolition services. For geotechnical services, we have 6 firms for recommendation. AECOM Technical Services, Inc., ECS Midwest LLC, Geo Services, Inc., an NBE firm, GSG Consultants, Inc., an NBE firm, Seco Consultants, Inc., and Terracon Consultants, Inc. For surveyor services, we have 9 firms. American Surveying and Engineering Limited, an NBE firm, Dynasty Group, Inc., an NBE firm, Environmental Design International, Inc., an NBE and WBE firm, Gasparic Alberts Consulting LLC, a WBE firm, GSG Consultants, Inc., an NBE firm, Terra Engineering Limited, a WBE firm, Thomas Engineering Group LLC, D3 Companies Limited, and Weaver Consultants Group North Central LLC. For traffic study services, the 8 recommended firms are Dama Consultants, NBE firm, the Dama Consultants, an NBE firm, DLZ Illinois, Inc., Primera Engineers Limited, a WBE firm, Rubinos and Messia Engineers, Inc., and a WBE firm, Singh and Associates, Inc., an NBE and WBE firm, Terra Engineering Limited, a WBE firm, Thomas Engineering Group LLC, and B3 Companies Limited. Last but certainly not least, one of the most complex of the specialties that we deal with, construction material testing and inspection services. There are 6 recommended firms. ATC Group Services LLC, which does business as Atlas Technical Solutions LLC, ECS Midwest LLC, National Soil Testing LLC, an NBE firm, Princeton Technical Services Inc., an NBE firm, Seco Consultants Inc., and Intera Inc., an NBE firm. Thank you for allowing me the privilege of reading off all of those firms. Once approved, these firms are entered into a pool on that's managed by a rotational basis, same as we did before, and we commit to bring the task orders issued in that firm to the board on a monthly basis, same as we've done in the past. So the old contract was initially undertaken in 2016, so it's been a long time at this time. 7 years, and this, we're very proud. I'd like to thank Ray and his team for doing very thorough evaluations on all of these. It's a heavy lift whenever we only have 27 employees here at the PBC, and I'm very grateful for him and his team's time. So very proud of that. Any questions on the specialty consultants?
Just for the record, just sort of the process. So obviously you put an RFP out, or was it RFQ? RFQ, I'm sorry, yeah, RFQ. And they submit their qualifications. You do actual interviews with each team.
We did not do interviews with each team. Instead, if we had specific areas where we felt we needed more information from the forms, copious amounts of paperwork that we required them to submit, we would reach out to them directly so we had a paper trail, but it was not feasible to interview every single one.
What percentage generally of these are ones that have done work for us before?
Excellent question. Of the original 41 that we had, 14 chose not to resubmit, or they had gone out of business. It was one of a combination of 2. So we're looking at about 60% are returning. However, we have 19 completely new to the PBC specialty consultants. We're very excited about that. That was one of the ways in which we were able to increase that M&W participation.
And I see several have multiple areas of expertise, so they may do one or more. Obviously.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the questions. Okay. My next, any questions, Chairman? No. My next report is the appointment of a firm to provide property management services for the Richard J. Daley Center. As you know, we have a 5-year contract. That contract is up this year. The current contract was with MB Real Estate, which was acquired by Transwestern Real Estate, the same firm that manages 69 West Washington, etc. We put that out on the street on August 2nd of 2023 and had a successful pre-submission conference and site visit again to Karina and Ray coordinating with everyone in the building. We had 2 submissions for this, Transwestern, the incumbent, and Jones Lang LaSalle, or JLL. This was a very tough procurement. This one, we did interview both candidates, and we asked for extensive presentations from both, as well as follow-up pieces of information. This culminated in us requesting a best and final offer from both the incumbent and JLL. And after much consideration and a commitment by MB Real Estate, Transwestern, we get this on the record, a commitment to exceed 70% minority business participation in this building as a property manager. We feel their costs were also in line, that would be who we would recommend. So our recommendation is Transwestern Commercial Real Estate, Transwestern Commercial Services Illinois LLC as the property manager for the building. So I'm happy to take questions about this.
So you mentioned they also do 69 West Washington. Do they do other government buildings?
They do, yeah. And they actually also manage a large portion of Millennium Park and the Riverwalk.
Okay.
So they're familiar with government entities. So one of the concerns that the group had, the evaluation committee had, was with Transwestern being not based in Illinois, did they understand Illinois government operations?
Right.
And because they kept on Andre Wiggin as the senior vice president of government relations for Transwestern, they've done a very good job.
Great. All right. Thank you.
And as you probably saw in your packet, my last report is slightly lengthy. It is the amendment report for this month. As we get closer to the end of the year, you understand, we make sure that any contracts we have that need to be extended, we do. Some of these will actually be going out next year for procurement. So you'll be hearing about these and the results of that procurement at that time. The first amendment we seek is Munsterman Services LLC, who does business as Multivista. That would be their 5th amendment. It's for photographic documentation services. No money, just time, 1-year extension. Next is our design architect pool. We have 3 under contract now. FGM Architects Inc., Leggett Architects Inc., and SMNGA Architects. Again, no money, just a 1-year extension of the DA services. The next is the LCP tracker on V2G. Now that's our web-based labor and minority compliance software. That would just, again, be no money, just an extension to continue utilizing their services for 1 year. Next is our audit provider, who is Deloitte & Touche. They work with Pickman, tell me what is the name? Washington.
Here. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. To perform our audit services, and this would be a contractual obligated extension, but we want to make sure that we record it. So it's a 1-year extension, no change to the price that's in their contract. And the last 3 amendments are for job order contracting, our JOC services. This will be the last extension for the JOCs. They will go out next year for reprocurement. You'll hear next month that we reprocured our GC specialty general contracting specialty consultants. And we want to make sure that we continue that service to ensure that we have the right people for the job, for the work that we're getting at the PDC. So if you're okay, I won't read through all of the names of the job order contracting providers, unless there are questions or you'd like me to do so.
No, I just had a question about the proposed amendment amount for number 5. So you're adding, that's the only one looks like you're adding additional dollars is the amendment.
5 is the JOC. It's the
JOC.
same amount.
No, that's the PDS. Number 5 is PDS.
Oh, I'm sorry. Your book was, I apologize. Mine is the one that's out of date. I apologize. Number 5, I skipped. Number 5 is the project development services. That is, yes, so that is, they have a 2-year extension option for their contract. And to ensure that we don't have to burden the board by coming back again and again, we wanted to make sure that we had a sufficient amount of money available to the project development services staff, Ray and his staff.
Okay.
So I will read that out. That is, I apologize for not having an up-to-date version. So those contracts are the Roderick Group, Inc., doing business as Ardmore Roderick Rodriguez and Associates, a joint venture, which is an MBE firm. Comprehensive Construction Consulting, which is an MBE firm, and Cotter Consulting, Inc., which is a and then the remaining amendments, the last three groupings are the three tiers of our doc providers. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
And then that concludes my report.
I move to accept the report.
Reports are accepted. Report.
Can I just do one more thing? Sure. So I just want to take one moment and thank Karina for all that she's done. I wrote out a little something and I'm going to try and get through it. It's difficult. So your leadership, commitment to the values of the agency, and your advocacy for the communities in Chicago, Cook County, and where we work is so special. As a director of procurement, I speak for the whole procurement team when I say it has been marvelous to have a leader who supports and champions our work. While not the most exciting work in government, procurement is a key component in fulfilling the PBC's mission of creating a beautiful built environment which functions for all those it serves. You've not only delivered on that mission, you've done so in a way that delivered meaningful contributions to the communities and citizens we touch. While at the PBC, you have successfully directed a portfolio of over $1.3 billion, which resulted in the hiring of over 19,000 construction workers, earning over $190 million for their communities. What's more, those projects achieved a 30% MBE participation and over 11% WBE participation. I believe that's the highest M&W participation over a 7-year period in this agency's history. I could go on, but to sum it up, we, the procurement team, just wanted you to know that you're respected as our leader, as a colleague, as a true friend, and that we will miss you terribly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for your leadership, for your courage, for your fierce advocacy, for our communities, for your dedication to your staff and our Board of Commissioners, and for your boundless energy and enthusiasm for our successes. We love you, and we look forward to what's next for you. And on a personal note, as my mentor, te quiero, amiga.
Gracias.
Muchísimas gracias por todo. Te quiero con todo mi corazón. Ya nos veremos.
Oh my God, you guys are good. Thank you.
Thank you.
It means a lot.
Report by Chief Development Officer Ray Gitteroff.
You have to talk that.
Didn't know we were gonna need tissue.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I got really lost.
Chairman, Commissioner, sorry. No change order to report this period. Sorry, one field order to report that exceeds our reporting threshold. That is field order number 56 for the Belmont Cragen Elementary School. For the estimated amount of $49,036.46. The PCO was reviewed with our client for approval to issue the field order. This field order directs the contractor to furnish and install an additional expansion tank for the boiler system at the Belmont Cragen School. After installation and through the commissioning process, it was discovered that the system was overpressurizing because the specified expansion tank wasn't large enough to accommodate the system. So we're adding an 80-gallon expansion tank to the existing system. That work is proceeding in accordance with the field order. Any questions? That concludes my report. Karina and Chairman and Commissioner.
Move to accept the report.
report is accepted. And just before we adjourn, I do have a couple of words for Karina.
Yes.
I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for your leadership, for everything that you've done for the PBC and your staff. You've been very proactive, and with your leadership, we were able to implement safety programs within the PBC. The PBC prides itself on its projects, on improving communities and creating jobs for people in those communities, but you also saw the bigger picture on making sure that these individuals working on these projects are respected and work in a safe environment. And I want to thank you for allowing us, and by us, I mean the Mid-America Carpenters Regional Council. We appreciate everything that you've done for us to help provide training for your staff when it comes to safety. It has proven to be a very well organized program, and making sure that everybody on those job sites are respected. Not only that, but also making sure that these workers leave these job sites the same way they walked in, and being able to provide better opportunities for their families because of these projects. None of this would have been possible without your leadership and your staff. I am truly appreciative, and if there's anything that I could do or our organization can do to help you, you could always count on us.
Thank
And
you.
Thank you for everything, Karina. We appreciate you.
Mr. Chair.
And
So I first am gonna say, James, that's one of the most thoughtful farewell speeches I've heard, certainly here. And obviously Chairman yours as well. It's been a real pleasure working with you, and I really like working with the whole team here. Everybody's very professional and you're thoughtful, and I think you try to anticipate the questions I ask. You don't need to do that, but I appreciate that you are thoughtful that way. And I'm just approaching it from somebody who runs an organization, and I have the same questions I ask my own staff, and you always have good answers, and you obviously have thought about it, and I appreciate that. So that's a reflection on you, Karina, and the type of leadership that you give and those expectations. And I have no doubt you will go on to the next chapter and do something really exciting and successful for yourself as well. So we talked briefly before, when you work in these types of organizations, it's just, I've lasted longer in this job than I have by 4 or 5 times, but that's not the norm. It's usually we kind of move around and do those things, and that's part of it. And sometimes it's bittersweet, but wish you well, and I know
Thank
you'll
you.
do well.
Thank you. If I could just have a couple of minutes, and I'm gonna try to get through this because James, you just got me emotional. So I wasn't expecting that. First, I just want to say I truly appreciate your kind words. I've been very lucky to have commissioners as yourselves on this board that I knew I could always just pick up the phone when there was a question. And I cannot count in one hand or two the number of times that both of you have stepped up and not only helped out the organization, but me personally. And for that, I am eternally grateful. I did have some things written down because sometimes, especially when I get to talk, I tend to go off and I forget a lot of stuff. But I want to first say that for me personally, it's been an honor. I'm proud to say I'm the daughter of Mexican immigrants. I grew up in the city in Pilsen, and to have become the first Latina at the PBC, I never thought that would happen to me. And the only reason I am successful is because I truly have an amazing staff. Everybody in this room and even outside would step up to the plate time and time again. And we went through a lot of challenges, from a pandemic, staffing shortages, and many other things. And I couldn't have done it with everybody here and more. So the successes that we had, I know it was because I was blessed to have an amazing team. James has been with me a long time, and what's kind of interesting is around this time 7 years ago, we were going through a similar transition, and it was hard. My boss at the time had one statewide office, and conversations were happening, and especially about coming to the PBC, and never would I have thought that this was going to be one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. And I owe all of that to everybody here. More than friends, I do consider you all family. And we all knew that this day was going to come. I just didn't think it was going to be this emotional. And I know that this isn't a goodbye. It's just a see you later. The holidays are coming up. And as I tell people, I am looking forward to a couple of days, couple of weeks before I start my next venture. And one of the biggest thing is I keep bothering my sister. I told some folks that I'm going to be an aunt. My baby sister's having a baby. So I'm already pestering her with, we need to, a name and themes and designs. So I know the next year coming up, it's gonna be great, but also if I could just say, this is an amazing agency. The work that they do is unique and special in what they do for the residents of Chicago and for Cook County. And I want to be able to come back in 10 years and see it still thriving, because I know that there is no one else that can do the work that any of the people here can do. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you, everyone. Words cannot express how grateful I am and how much everybody means to me. So thank you. So,
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.